following program, Bucket Wish, has been revised by the nonprofit organization Adventures That Advocate. While these original adventures were filmed in New Zealand, the creator has now filmed locally to provide this exclusive series as introduced next. To all those at MVTV and the wonderful island of Martha's Vineyard, thank you. We hope this inspires and motivates others to get involved with any Adventures That Advocate Martha's Vineyard.
Welcome to Adventures That Advocate. Right here on the island, you can see whales. I've yet to see one. It reminds me of the time in New Zealand. Here we go.
If something challenged your ability to live life, would you change your current lifestyle? Could you live in the now? And would you see the positive? Over the past 3 years, I've checked off my own bucket list adventures, and now it's time to pay it forward. Join me each week as we take 2 lucky teens on the adventures of a lifetime, checking off their own bucket list items, one wish at a time. Not every adventure has to be adrenaline. Some of them can be cultural. I found the perfect location while traveling through Kaikoura recently, and now it's time for 2 unselfish canteen individuals to get the experience as well.
Hey Aaron, my name's Katrina. I am 22. When I was 6, my 4-year-old brother was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. He was taken to Starship Hospital that night to undergo treatment. He has since passed his 5 years remission and is living life like a normal 20-year-old male. I joined Canteen so I could help people who were going through what I was now, letting them know that there is an end to your family being sick, that someone is looking out for you, not just your sick sibling. It is okay for you to have a fantastic day, even though your sibling's day was bad. Your problems are still problems, even though they are not life-threatening. Katrina.
Today on Bucket Wish, it's going to be an amazing episode. Katrina is just inside, and growing up with a brother who had cancer, a lot of the attention was away from Katrina. But today, we're going to pay it forward, taking her on the ultimate trip. Without further ado, let's go get her. You must be Katrina. Aaron.
Katrina's brother Stuart, who was the patient, is the real hero of the whole thing. He made it very, very easy on the rest of the family. Although he was only 4 years old, he was really just magic going through his treatment. He put up with all the indignities that you have to go through as a paediatric oncology patient, where some children had to be sedated even to get them into the hospital. Stu would walk in with his head held high, sometimes tears streaming, but he would still walk into the hospital for his treatment. I'm sorry, although it's been 17 years. When I think about it, I still get choked up.
Were you always involved with cancer organizations, or was it just after Stuart's diagnosis?
Just after the diagnosis. We never gave it a lot of thought. It hadn't really happened to anybody we knew, and so, you know, it came to us like out of the blue.
Where were you when it happened?
I was in China, of all places.
Okay.
Sarah managed to track me down, which wasn't easy, and got the message through to us. I'd had 2 or 3 friends as a child who'd passed away from leukemia, and as soon as Sarah said the words, I immediately thought the worst.
You've got Katrina. Has she stepped up? Has she kind of taken the reins a little bit, as you had to?
Well, Katrina's just been awesome, helping with the family and supporting Stu as he went through, and really encouraging him.
I've got a pretty good day planned for her.
Wonderful. We would be delighted. She deserves it. She's committed a heck of a lot to Canteen over the last 7 or 8 years, put a huge amount of her own time. Every other month she flies to Auckland for board meetings and so forth. The sad news for us is we've had to say goodbye to so many kids over the years who were in hospital with Stu, and that's been one of the very hardest things as well. You've got a little boy, 7, 8 years old, and one of his friends who he's known for a couple of years through treatment is no longer there, and he says, you know, Daddy, am I going to die as well? It's one of the hard things to face.
That's not easy.
Not easy, and I feel for all those families as well. So
That's why you're doing the work you're doing.
that's why we do
And
what we
everyone
do.
appreciates it, John. They do.
Yep, and Katrina took that on board. She saw how much it affected us as a family, and I hate not being able to handle it, but there's just nothing I can do about it. I just feel for those families who no longer have their sons or daughters with them as well.
Now, your dad was really touched. I mean, it's 17 years ago, but it's still like it was yesterday, it feels like, for you guys. I thought something in your letter that you wrote to me was really touching, and I can relate to that. Some of the attention was taken off of you. How is that? Like, how do you handle it? Because you don't want to, it's almost like you don't want to address it, right?
There's a very, very big guilt factor that goes along with it. Like, I'm the one that's fine, so I should be happy and fine all of the time. So that's why I like helping, because I can go to these other siblings and say, like, it's okay to feel like guilty or jealous, or because
Wow. I mean, honestly, Katrina, I didn't even think twice about that side of things.
yeah.
And I think maybe I made the mistake that most people do, is you get so caught up in worrying about the situation at hand that you forget about everybody else around the situation.
Yeah. So I find now when someone tells me about the situation that's happening, whether or not it be cancer, that I just make a point of going like, oh, and how are you doing? Instead of like, oh, you know, how is it all going? Because if you're asking about it, or you're asking about the sick person, but sometimes some people need a moment, you sit them down and you go, no, how are you? Like, how do you feel about this today?
You realize you're 23 years old, right?
Yep.
But you're speaking like an adult.
I mean, that is really mature.
Proof that cancer has an impact on everyone. It's time to meet our second guest.
We're at the farm, and Charlie's just inside. Now, Charlie's a sibling member of Canteen after her brother Jake was diagnosed with cancer. The storyline on this one's a bit different. There's a bit of bullying and a little bit of discrimination, and I do want to find out those details before we really pay it forward and make her wish come true on the ultimate Treehouse adventure. So let's go inside.
Hi Aaron, I am a sibling member of Canteen, as my brother Jake was diagnosed with cancer when he was 8 months old. He had retinoblastoma, which is a cancer of the eye, and he had to have one of his eyes removed and replaced with the glass one. His limited vision has definitely affected my whole family. Jake having cancer has also affected me personally, as I have learnt vicariously the discrimination a person can face. When Jake and I were in primary school, kids would either make fun of him, or they would ask him repeatedly to take his eye out to show everyone. Charlie Claridge.
When was Jake's diagnosis?
He was 6 months old, and it was hell of a shock to us. Rips your heart out, really does. I remember we were in the hospital when we got the scan. When they came in and they said, we think you better sit down, and we thought, oh no. From that moment on, it was just that sort of feeling of helplessness, not, you know, thinking that you wanted to do something, you know, you just wanted to get in there and fix it, and, you know, let me at it and I'll sort this out one way or another, and you couldn't do anything. It is unbelievable, actually. It just breaks your heart, really does.
How was it with the public? I mean, because Charlie wrote me a letter and it kind of said some distress about discriminating and bullying with the surgery that he had done. How do you react?
Jake is Jake. He is what he is, but just be aware. You can't see it on the side, you know, we've got to be aware of certain things. So that's all you got to watch out for. Don't treat him any different, but that's just, I suppose, natural for people to sort of back off. You know, maybe they thought it was contagious or something, I don't know, but all of a sudden people would just, sort of shy away a little bit, and so you were sort of left sort of wondering why this happened. And
Well, I can tell you, I mean, the why for me is that Charlie is remarkable. And so if it's okay with you, I'm going to take her on a nice whale watch, and then we're going to put her in a luxury treehouse in Kaikoura. And she's going to have her own place by herself and just get time for Charlie.
that would be excellent. She deserves it. She has really thrown herself into this canteen support.
Your story was a little bit different for me when I received it. And I thought it was really interesting about what you talked about, the discriminating part and the bullying part.
Well, it was mainly when we were young and in primary school. Like the other kids would come up to Jake and go, oh, you've only got one eye. Can you take it out? Can you show me? And they would always pester him to take it out, and because they thought it was the coolest thing ever. But what they didn't understand is that for him taking it in and out, it can get bugs in it and like dirt and that, and then it can get infections. So, but they just thought it was either really cool, or they were totally freaked out and thought like that Jake was an alien, and would like back off and wouldn't go near him because he was the weird kid. I was known as the girl whose brother was a pirate because he sometimes had to wear an eye patch to school.
You guys have, as sibling members, have kind of helped in an indirect form, and today I want it to be more direct. I want this day to be all about you guys. We've got a couple surprises lined up for both of you guys. I'm not very good at keeping them as a surprise, but we'll keep it as tight as we can.
Coming up, we get the party started with a private boat and our new friends.
Oh, hey! Enjoying this show? Enjoying this adventure? Awesome! You can find out some more information right here. Hope to see you there.
Before the break, I surprised two very unselfish teens, and now we get the day started off right.
This is about you guys today, all right? So the first stop is the whale watch, and I've got the perfect itinerary. It's even your own boat.
Oh.
There's no one else. It's just the crew. All right, so the briefing today is sit back, relax, and enjoy the drive. Seas are really flat today.
Yeah, it's about as flat as you get, really.
We won't be needing those sick bags.
No, hopefully not. Fingers crossed, but you never know.
So what do you guys offer at Whale Watch?
An average tour that we would expect would be to come out, head out into the canyon and find hopefully a couple of whales. We average 1 or 2 per tour. We've got a hydrophone up the front to find them, but it depends on the day. Every day they change where they are, so we never know. Every day is different, but usually we average 1 or 2, and then if we get time, we'll go and see some dolphins or some seals, and usually see heaps of seabirds and albatross and stuff as well.
So what type of whales are we going to see then?
We usually see the sperm whales. That's the one that we pretty much see every day of the year.
We're going to use the special microphone thingy. I don't know what it's called.
Technical term.
Yeah. Underwater to see if we can hear the whale, because there should be one around here somewhere.
The last boat told us that there was one in this area, but we're not too sure how far away he is from surfacing, and they can move around a lot when they dive.
Does it only surface once?
Yeah, it comes up for once and for about 10 minutes, and then it takes off again for another hour or so.
Is it a little Jimmy Buffett?
Pardon?
A little Jimmy Buffett?
What is that?
A little hello sailor?
I don't even know what that is.
What'd you hear?
Yeah, I can hear a whale out that way.
Really?
Yep.
And just like that, we are on to them.
We've got a whale up, guys. It's about a mile, maybe a mile and a half in front of the boat. We just spotted him spouting, so we're going to head over there. Hopefully he waits for us, but he might die before we get there, never know.
Oh, I think I saw his back. I'm not really too sure.
Yeah, I think it.
There he is! Oh my goodness! Far out, he's like just there.
Oh my.
Wow! That is so cool. Come here.
That is his dorsal fin, and that's the back of the second third of his body. So we're seeing the front 2/3.
Oh.
Yeah, the first half of that is his head. If you can see that bulge like halfway down his back, sort of. Not the big fin, but halfway down there's like the back of his skull. And then the second third is his torso, and then the third is his tail. So the blowhole's the front of his head, and then back to the little bump, that's the back of his skull. Oh, he's rolling over.
he's rolling over.
Yeah, there's the side of his tail.
How many breaths does he take? Or?
Usually about 50 or 60 breaths. He's up for about 5 or 10 minutes or so, but I don't know. He went down before and then came back up, so he might be up for a while. But he's a pretty big one. He'll be at least as long as the boat. And like 3 times as heavy as the boat. He's pretty fat.
Why do they need to spout? Like, do they?
He's getting rid of all the old air from his last dive.
Oh, okay.
Because he stays down for like an hour or so. He gets lots of like toxins and stuff building up in his body. So that's all bad air. You don't really want to breathe that in. It'll probably make you sick. There's actually another whale up as well. You might be able to see him way in there. There's a little spout just to test your eyes. I've got a good feeling about this one, guys. He's going to show us the tail. There he goes, last breath, plunging his head. Here it comes. Oh, what?
He might break.
He might jump out. Keep. Whoa! Oh, yep. There you go. Woo!
With us making a great pit stop, it's time for my favorite guest, Chris Sturgeon from the Hapuku Lodge and Treehouse.
This is your new home for tonight. This is the Tree Lodge, and it's a very special place.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Welcome to Hapuku Lodge. My name is Chris.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Charlie.
Hello, Charlie.
Hi,
Hello, Katrina. Pleased to meet you both.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
So we've come into Hapuku Lodge and Treehouses. We are a 5-star eco lodge, luxury lodge, based just out of Kaikoura. So we have, for you guys, we have one of our tree houses for each of you this evening to stay on. And then tonight we also have, we've got some stunning food for you have this evening produced by our chefs. It'll be a lot of fun.
So the plan is just to let Chris take you guys up, show you the accommodation, relax, right, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely relax. You know, you get yourself your own little cocoon of luxury. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
You don't have a plan, although if you're hungry, you should come back because it's a really good meal later. And we've got a very special guest that I'm going to introduce to you, right?
Absolutely.
And it's not going to be one you want to miss.
No, absolutely. So we go to a treehouse?
Yeah, I think
Great.
so.
Let's
Follow
go.
you.
Up next, it's all about luxury. A surprise from a former MasterChef finalist and a chance to revisit the roots.
Enjoying the show? Check us out right here to do your own. Thanks for watching.
Just before the break, we made a pit stop, saw a few great whales, and now we're set for our treehouse adventure.
So guys, this is your treehouse. So these are nestled inside a 100-year-old Kanuka Grove. So Katrina, this is going to be your treehouse. Yeah. And then Charlie, we're going to take you over to your one, which is right next door. And this is your gorgeous view, which looks up to the magnificent Kaikoura Mountains. So you each have your own personal little jacuzzi, which looks out across our olive grove and looks out to the Pacific coast. And of course, you know, when you decide to have your nice bath this evening, you've got your own heated floor, and then you're looking out across our wonderful olive grove.
So there's one more surprise. Obviously, there is no one else on the lodge tonight. It's completely reserved for you, thanks to Chris, and that means that you guys will hopefully join us on a private meal later.
I just wanted to love you down. Just wanted to love you down. Just wanted to love you. I just wanted to love you down. I just wanted to love you down. Just wanted to love you down.
With the stage set and the sun going down, it's time for another surprise.
Hey, Chris.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Welcome to the Hapuku Lodge kitchen. Now we've got a special thing here just before dinner this evening that we a bit of a surprise, bit of a celebration.
I'm not good at keeping surprises. So
Oh, jeez.
can I give him a hint?
Yeah, of course you can.
Oh wow, lovely.
Do you know what it is? No? Okay.
So I'd like you to introduce you to our executive chef, Fiona Reid.
Do you guys recognize Fiona Reid?
Nice to meet you both. Hi there.
Come on around. Fiona was in Master Chef, and she is actually she is the head chef here at the lodge, and she wants to help you guys with a little dessert and give you a chance to actually make ice cream.
From scratch, yeah.
From scratch, is that cool? Okay, so I'm gonna leave you guys to it. You guys enjoy, and I think these are yours.
Yeah, you might need those.
These are
Thank you. Yeah. We're lucky enough at the lodge to have our own chooks, free range. So we have the most amazing, beautiful eggs, and these were just taken from the hen house this morning, so they're lovely and fresh. So what we're going to do is make ice cream with lots of different recipes you can use, but I like to do it the full-on way with lots of egg yolks and nothing but pure cream.
A chance to stay at the lodge, followed with a lesson in cooking, and more importantly, time to share their story with others. After a good night's sleep, it would only be appropriate to lay the foundation for their legacy.
Well, listen, today we're about to depart, but before we do, I wanted to reconnect everything that we've talked about. What we'd like to do is offer you a chance to replant that seed in life.
Our plan today is to plant a tree, and it is about offsetting the carbon footprint, but it's also about giving back to Mother Earth. If you want to say any words just yourself, that's fine too. It doesn't have to be in Māori, but I'd be impressed if it was.
Tēnā koutou, ko kaha kura ngā maunga, ko waimakarere te awa. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
Okay, well done. And so we hand over here.
You okay?
And that's our job done.
Hey. Before you leave and before we say goodbye, Chris is going to bring us something that he offers to anybody who plants a tree on the lodge.
As part of planting a tree at Hapuku Lodge, we give you a certificate because you can pride this tree and have great pride that this has been planted and will grow over the next number of years. So on this certificate is also the GPS location of the tree. So you can go to Google Maps and you can watch as your tree grows.
One of the most moving stories for me to date, and a lesson I will cherish for a long time. I'm happy to pay this adventure forward for two people who have been paying it forward from day one.
Up and away, like I'm flying out of a picture frame. Up and away till
Oh, this is the jacket that